Welcome back, and moving on to our second segment of today. Well, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi also during his visit in Paris also met with Mr. Bruno Le Maire, the French Minister of Economy and Finance, talking about the mutual cooperation, economic mutual cooperation between France and Egypt and the importance of this important visit. Over the phone, we have Dr. Mostafa Wali, a member of the Egyptian European Council. Hello.
Hello.
Good morning, Doctor. So
Good morning
first
to
of
you.
all, I want to talk more about how can you see this important visit of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi to France and how it can pave the way for more economic investments or French investments in Egypt.
First of all, actually, we should consider this visit as one of the most important latest visits of the president to France or generally to any country right now. Because the whole situation in the area, plus also what's going on, is really fascinating in the sense that a lot of challenges are facing the whole world. Even some areas are most terribly affected by it. That in general is the atmosphere where such meeting is going there. Meanwhile, or nevertheless, the president was so keen about how to address all the Egyptian issues and the importance of cooperation for the sake of the Egyptian goodness and the Egyptian economy, especially with France, with one of the most important investors in Egypt and, of course, one of the most important economic. It is the largest, the seventh largest economy in the world, with long and well-stand and well-deserved and well-observed relationship with Egypt. That's very important. So whatever comes after this will be, of course, positively. But don't forget also that there is other things which might indirectly affect also the economy, because Egypt is part and a very important country in Africa. And there is a summit. So in this meeting, there's a big summit about how to help Africa in general, with Egypt having the leading role with France to help Africa and specifically our friends and our brothers in Sudan. That's actually my understanding for the whole situation.
Talking about the potentialities in Egypt and also the opportunities for French investments in Egypt.
Yeah, the potential. Sorry, please go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, talking about the potentiality and the positive situation in general in the Egyptian economy to attract and cooperate with those who would like to invest and who would find that it's very important for them and it's very lucrative for them to invest in Egypt. The investment environment in Egypt is very promising, it's very flourishing, and of course there are some reasons, that things are not that good when it comes to the whole situation, the world situation concerning the effect of COVID-19. But in general, the foundation and the atmosphere were, even before the start of this COVID 1 year ago, it was very promising, it was very good, and it made a lot of encouragement from both the investors themselves and the government. And in this case, I am optimistic that once we get through and we will be over with this COVID, we will have a big boost actually for the Egyptian investment, for the foreign direct investment in Egypt. And France can play a big role, can have a very good share. With their history, as economy and as working companies in Egypt and joint ventures in Egypt, and the perception of the Egyptian in general for the Egyptian industries and for the French industry and French technology and all these positive elements in cooperation.
If we're talking about the strong relations between France and Egypt, and especially when it comes to the economic ties and how this can help and support being a gate to the European Union markets and increase the exchange of trade.
That's a very important question and remark. By the way, the total investment so far is exceeding 5 billion euro of France in Egypt. And it's entitled to be more than that, and it will be, inshallah. The only thing is that, of course, when we are looking for the history of cooperation, it is there, and in general, it's positive. The only thing that, some out of reach or out of hand situations might slow down things, as it's happening now all over the world. So the potential is there with having in mind that the foundation and the atmosphere and the environment to invest in Egypt is most welcoming. And with the history of the technology and the cooperation with a lot of companies working in Egypt successfully, this will add a lot of positives to the situation.
How do you see in the future, fields where we can work and cooperate together if we're talking about French investments and French expertise in different fields here in Egypt?
Yeah. Of course, there are some very good success stories. There is a lot of success stories in different fields. For example, we have a very good record with the French technology and French ventures in the energy sector, in the transportation sector, and many other industrial sectors and even service. In this case, this already has proved that it can work, and it stood all the past time, ups and downs over the years, with a lot of companies working, French companies working hand in hand with their counterparts in Egypt, and even joint venture is there. And there is with the Egyptian industries in general and the industrialists, that the French technology and the French know-how is highly appreciated.
How can we increase, again, the volume of trade between France and Egypt?
Well, with more study and thorough studies about what is the best, where we can export. We're talking about export in this case, because of course we have a negative trade balance with France and as many other countries. But there are chance, for some agro industries and agricultural products, agri-products, and also some semi-finished industrial items to be exported. To increase our share of the, or decrease the deficit in the trade balance with France. It's part of the total of the whole policy for increasing our capacities for export, in many fields.
So on the conclusion, this visit and all the meetings that took place during this important visit, during this important period or critical period of time, can it be, there must be a message delivered when it comes to, I'm talking about economy in general and the Egyptian economic status right now.
Yes. At least that okay, with the invitation of the President Macron to President Sisi to be a very important, figure in this conference over, helping Africa and Sudan, and then altogether with the situation around, political situation around in the area. There are many positive French, regards and notes about the cooperation with Egypt on both of the political and the economic. When it comes to the economic, always it will be working and always it will be good once there is a fair situation and a win-win situation for those who would like to invest and the host countries, in this case Egypt. And I'm optimistic that let's go through, inshallah, peacefully with this situation around, including COVID, and then there will be a big boost, hopefully, in the world, and then we will be part of it.
Dr. Mostafa Wali, a member of the Egyptian European Council, thank you very much for joining us. Right, and I guess with this we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us, and stay tuned for more coming up on Nile TV International.